Sounds good.
Back from the Plano Center here at the PrimeTime Sports National Championship Expo. Josh Haley alongside Tyler Jones, and pleased to have the founder of PrimeTime Sports, David Stevens. David, we got to thank you for having us here, and we're pleased that you're able to have a little time with us here to talk. But I got to say, just in the few hours we've been here so far at the Expo today, we've seen a lot of smiles on the kids' faces, and am I accurate in saying that that's one of the overall goals here at PrimeTime?
Well, you're absolutely right. A couple of things. One, I do want to thank GameView. You're a great addition, and I just want everybody to know that we're going to have 360 plus games live streamed over the next 4 days, and I hope they join us again to catch some of that action.
It's July Madness.
Yeah, there you go. It is madness.
Summer madness.
A couple of things you caught on really well. One is, this is my favorite day of the year. The tournament is great, the competition is great, the competitive level is extraordinary, but we created today the Expo because I wanted a celebratory component to what happens in these 5 days. I want these young people to come here and smile and laugh, and I want to turn the music up, and I want them just to have fun. We're going to have plenty of opportunities to compete. They are going to compete. We're going to have great championship games on Sunday. But this is the day we're just kids playing the game we love to play. And that was really the impetus behind the creation of the Expo. We brought in the vendors to bring the traffic, but what you see and just heard, that's why we're here today.
David, let me ask you, PrimeTime Sports has been in the making for years to come now. Tell me how you guys got to this point of having this national championship game here. In just a short amount of time, you guys have really built up a major program through a short amount of time.
Well, and again, we've been doing it for 14 years. And yes, it seems like it was yesterday. Our very first national championship was in Kansas City, and we had 46 teams, and it was all we could do. It was every bit all we could do. Our whole model is based upon the premise that if we provide a great competitive experience, we take care of the families, we make it an experience beyond the competition, and we do right by people, good things will happen. And that is the model we followed since the day we started. It's the model we have today. Our tagline organizationally is the best game in town. And that is, it's more than a tagline, it's really how we want to do business. We want to be the best game in town, whether it's that game you're going to play on Saturday, whether it's the Expo you're going to today, whether it's a place to work. We want to be the best game in town. And then Nationals has kind of emerged, the tagline that I really go back to on it, and none bigger and nothing better. And that's what we strive for every year, and we are the largest national championship in the country.
With over 800 teams, and you've surpassed the number that you had in the 2013 National Championship. It continues to grow, and I think one of the things that really makes PrimeTime unique from other tournaments that are put on throughout the year is, specifically for the high school divisions, is it's an NCAA certified event. Coaches can be here. There's a lot of recruiting services that are here, and so it not only gives the chance for the players to play, but also maybe could open a door that they otherwise wouldn't have had to the collegiate level.
And you're exactly right. Again, it is an NCAA certified event. We're one of the few providers that actually does a girls certified event and a boys certified event at the same time, and we think that gives clubs and families an opportunity to come to one place, one venue, one event, and not split the family up for the weekend. And you're right, we will have the college coaches there. The emergence of the scouting service is really key, and we have some outstanding ones here. I know you've talked to Future 150. We brought them in specifically because they also give great coverage at the 7th and 8th grade level. That introductory, let's get them in the pipeline so people have an opportunity to find out that there's talent elsewhere. And then on the girls' side, I know you've also interviewed Simi Colson with Girls Prep Report, and he's one of those guys in the business for the right reason. He's there to help young people, help young ladies find a way to have an opportunity to play collegiately. And I'll tell you the third component we brought in on the collegiate level, or to help that side of it, and it's called GameView. And it goes back to the video on the live streaming and our commitment to have that part of what we're doing now, because there are going to be some college coaches that are unable to be here that are going to have scholarships that they're trying to find the right fit for, and I think they're going to find somebody by watching that video over the next 4 days.
And who knows, they could be watching a championship game on Sunday and maybe reach in their pocket and dial up Simi or future 150s and say, hey, scoot on over to court number 5 for me. There's somebody there I really like.
Yeah, that's right. You're exactly right.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So over 800 teams competing this weekend. Let's talk about the facilities here. They're going to be spread all over the place with some of the best facilities that the Dallas-Fort Worth area has to offer. I mean, this has really been well put together. They're going to play some fantastic places.
The venues are outstanding. Dallas is uniquely situated. We have 825 teams, 2,121 games. They're going to play on 62 basketball courts, but that's only 14 venues. And that's because, again, Dallas is blessed with a number of very fine multi-court facilities. Frisco Fieldhouse, 2 PSA facilities, IAD, Duncanville Fieldhouse, all outstanding multi-court facilities. We really occupy a pretty small footprint for having 62 floors, and that's one of the things that draws people here, is I don't have to run them all over to see the events. Again, Dallas is uniquely situated. I've looked at facilities all over the country, and I can't find a setting as good as what we have here in Dallas.
Well, it certainly creates a unique aspect, not only to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, which is one of the best in the nation, but you know, there's so many teams that have traveled here, but there's also a lot of teams here that maybe feel like they're defending their home turf, and that's a great thing because there's so many great athletes in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Dallas and the state of Texas are probably underrated as a place for basketball. If we go through rosters, we'll find a lot of Texas athletes. Football is still king, always will be king, but there are a lot of tremendous athletes playing the game of basketball in Texas. And so there is a little bit of the defending the home turf, border war mentality. And I'll just give you a little insight into our scheduling process. One of the review stages we go through is to make sure that every pool has a sampling. You have a Dallas team, you have a Houston team, and you have 2 teams from out of state. So you get to see people that are new. You get to see new styles of the game and have an opportunity to see how you do, not only against the guy across town, but people from across the country. We have teams this year from Rhode Island to California and all points in between. We have teams from Mexico, and we have a team coming from Sweden. Wow. So we are, not only are we a national, we like to say now we have an international flavor as well. 2 weeks ago in one of our regular season events, we had a team from Ukraine. So they're just, the game of basketball is a great ambassador for all of us.
That's awesome to hear. I mean, it's such awesome to see where everybody's coming from. And the competition level from all this, if people are just now understanding this, some of these teams will have a lot of D1 talent. Others will have a few here and there. I mean, some of these main games are going to be, so tremendous of how well they're going to be played. I mean, with so much good players there.
Competitive level is very, very good. It's extraordinarily good. And it's both on the boys' side and the girls' side. But another thing we do, now while we always want the competitive level, I want the others that maybe aren't as competitive as well. What I do is we take the teams out of pool play and we send the top 2 teams in pool play to the championship bracket. We take the bottom 2 teams in pool play, put them in a challenger bracket, so there's actually double the number of championships to be won, the double the number of opportunities to take home some hardware, and you can be at your own competitive level. All of this is good, but what the focus always should be about is getting better. Yeah. And the more teams, the more players that I can give the opportunity to be better, then I'll have met my goal.
I think one of the highlights of the day so far, David, is NBA player Donald Sloan was with us. He's from this area, a standout at Texas A&M. and he got to go one-on-one with some youngsters, and I know that that's going to be a moment that those kids carry with them forever. How excited were you when you found out it was set in stone that you would have an NBA player here to kind of give some pointers to these younger players?
Well, the first thing I thought of when they told me Donald Sloan was going to be here, I had to decide whether I could forgive him for his Texas A&M Aggies winning a game at Allen Fieldhouse against my Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Now, it's been a few years and some counseling. I think I was able to forgive him. Donald Sloan is an outstanding young man. He's an NBA player. People don't always understand and appreciate how few of those positions are available, and if you're there, you're something special. So we're absolutely excited with Donald. We've invited him back next year, told him to bring a couple of buddies, and one of the best moments of the whole day is when they were doing the Play a Pro, and there were literally 100 young people around that court watching one of their peers play an NBA player. That again goes back to why we have the Expo. There were dreams being made there. There was just a joy that was being spread there that we can't get anywhere else, and I just love it.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it, David. Tell me about, all the sponsors that are involved. You already talked about the scouting services and us. Tell us about these businesses that are out here being represented and the ones that we'll hear from throughout the week.
Yeah, and the challenge here is I'm going to miss somebody.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, we've got several merchandise people that are here. Print Ideas here. They're our official merchandise sponsor for the event. They're here today, and they'll be on at 7 of the sites all week. D1, another merchandise vendor that's on the other side. They've been with us for all 4 years of the Expo. Pro Look was here. Point Three's here, and so they you know what? They all find a slice of that market, and they attract people, and people like them. The U.S. Marines, I'm proud to have them here.
Yes.
It's a choice that some young people need to consider and think about. None of us can be appreciative and thankful enough that all the members of our armed services and first responders provide. So I'm just welcome to have them here. And I've let them know they're welcome back again. We had Tim Brown here. We have I have a headband vendor, a socks vendor, things that kids love. And again, it goes back to my customers today are the young people that are going to play the game. You look over here, and what are they doing? They're bouncing a ball, and they're a goofy 12-year-old boy. And I love it. That's what I want to see.
You mentioned Tim Brown being here and the younger kids that are here. Tim talked about his new book that he just released, and some of the things in that talked about the way he grew up, and things weren't always the best at home. And he brought up a good point that with a lot of these youngsters, unfortunately, they go through some of the same things. But it seems like, whenever you don't have a strong father figure at home or no father figure at all, you maybe turn to somebody like a basketball coach, and this is just one more platform where these kids can have structure and guidance and leadership.
Yeah, and Tim's exactly right, and expresses it very eloquently. I talk all the time about one of the challenges of today's world is for young people, there's so many more opportunities to make bad decisions. Life was a lot simpler when I was their age. There's just so many things that want to push them into bad decisions. And so many of those things, the bad decisions, are literally life-changing. So what has to happen now, we have to have responsible adults, safe activities, a safe environment, something that's healthy, and I think they have to learn how to compete. I get up every day in my life and I compete. And you don't learn being a competitor in a classroom. You don't learn being a competitor listening to a speech. You learn to be a competitor by scrapping it out on the floor, on the field, on the mat with somebody else. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, and you're going to have to learn that you learn from all of those. And that's why I'm a diehard believer in the value of learning how to compete. It's not about going league. I hope there's hundreds of kids go league here, but that's not what it's about. It's about developing life skills that will make you a more responsible, more productive adult when you enter that stage of your life. And they're going to get there. They're going to get there because we've got all these people here supporting them.
You know, one of the life skills I think that these guys learn about working as a team and all is they're seeing it with you guys. You guys are, your family is so involved in this. Tell about PrimeTime, you know, its organization as a family, what that's been like.
Well, yes, I've got two of my family members, my wife Janice and my youngest son Zane, are part of they come to work every day with me. But I tell people that there would not have been PrimeTime without our youngest son Zane, because how I got into this, how the model evolved for me to launch was I coached Zane when he was young and literally followed him all over the country, from Orlando to Vegas, watching him play basketball, watching him grow as a young athlete and as a young man. And I so loved the experience, I loved the competition, I loved the energy of young people, that I came home from work one day and told Janice, I got to stay close to this. I got to find a way to stay close to this. Now, I had to do it in a way that I could support my family. I had to be realistic. I really wanted to be first chair for the Jayhawks, but I didn't think I had enough time. And they had these guys named Roy Williams and Bill Self that some people might have thought do a better job. But the point is, I decided there was room in the market for an approach to run basketball events that was customer service driven, that listened to people, that delivered quality events, was accountable for what we did, and celebrated the whole competitive experience. And so that's really what we got into it. And to make the story even crazier, I moved from the practice of law to running basketball.
Really?
Some people might call that a quantum leap, but at the same time, while it was a big step for the family, never looked back, and just absolutely thrilled with what I do now.
That's awesome.
Well, David, I think I speak for all of us, and judging from the smiles on the faces of the people here, everybody's having a great time. The only good thing about this day coming to an end is we've got over 1,000 basketball games in the next 4 days to look forward to.
Yep. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you courtside. All
right. David Stevens, the owner of PrimeTime Sports. Much more to come from the Plano Center here in Plano, Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, home of the 2014 PrimeTime Sports National Basketball Championships. For Tyler Jones, I'm Josh Haley. Stay with us. More to come this afternoon.